So I don't know, like customer is king any other place in the world, and Germans need to know. Germans need to know that. Somebody tell them. Hello guys, welcome again to another video. If today is your first time coming here, my name is Margaret and you're highly welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a Nigerian mom tuber resident here in Germany, and I bring you content around our sojourn here in Germany and a bit about faith and family and lifestyle. Basically, that's what I do on this channel. If you find this video interesting, please leave me a thumbs up and stick around. Let's build this brand. Okay, so today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys 5 things that I dislike about Germany. If you have been following this channel for a while now, you know that I'm very big about Germany. Like, I say a whole lot about Germany, about the German system, education wise and otherwise. I promised you guys in my last video that in my next video I'm going to be telling you people the things that I dislike about Germany. I mean, there's nobody that is 100% perfect, right? So I'm going to be telling you some sort of disappointment, not really disappointment, but some things that didn't quite go well with me while we've been here. So if you're ready, let's go right into this video. So the number one thing on my list is contracts. Yes. We've had a bit of negative experience about contracts. Like, if you are in Germany or you've just moved to Germany, one thing you want to be careful about is signing contracts. Yes, and you know, all of the contracts that you might be signing will all be in German, except if you're signing a contract to start a job in English. But almost 80% or even 90% of things that you might be going into here in Germany would be in German. And you want to make sure that you have a friend, an acquaintance, a colleague who knows German well enough to interpret for you. If you like, go to a lawyer, I guess. Just make sure that you know all of the legal implication of whatever thing you're signing. So this is what I mean when I say contract. Like, contracts renew automatically here in Germany. So if you sign a contract for 2 years or 1 year, or for whatever duration you sign a contract, you want to make sure that 3 months prior to when this contract expires, you want to send in a Kündigung. That's what it's called. That's the cancellation of the contract. Otherwise, this contract automatically renews itself. I kid you not. I've had those issues with a lot of my children extracurricular activities. Like, even with kids, everything is sealed by contracts here. So even extracurricular activity, football, whatever games your children are playing, you'd have to sign a contract. Once my son was signed into skating, and then along the line he didn't like skating, we wanted to try football. And you know, that trial period where your children are trying out things, and then all of a sudden 1 year later, because I signed for skating for like a year and I pay yearly, so at the start of a new year, I just got a alert that money has been deducted from the account. I realized money has been taken from the account. I'm like, what happened? And then I realized that we didn't cancel the contract. And aside from that, other things, you know, like internet, also we've had issues. We had very bad internet reception and we wanted to cancel, and they said, well, your contract is going to end, you can only cancel next year, you know. But with something like internet, there's something called Sonderkündigung, like a special Kündigung that you can cancel your, you know, contract if you're not satisfied with a service, you know. But most people do not know that, and so they are stuck somehow because you signed the dotted lines and it says 3 months prior. So you want to be careful about that. The second thing I do not like about Germany is the bureaucracy, the bottlenecks, the red tapes, whatever you call them. There are a whole lot. So I've told you guys, Germany is known for due process, precise and organized and all of that. And these things come with their negative sides, in a sense, if I would say that. Lack of a better word, I'll just say. So it's really a lot of bureaucracy, paperwork, and too many procedures, very huge and unnecessary if you ask me. Very cumbersome paperwork, and I guess we can do without them. I don't know, they're very unnecessary as far as I'm concerned, but that's Germany for you. Three thing I want to talk about is the tax you pay for owning a television set. Okay, that's, I just said that in a funny way, just to deliver this point, but there's something you call the ARDZDF tax you pay, and it's basically media tax, if I can use that term to describe this, because you know, a lot of things in Germany you cannot do a direct translation in English. Like, you cannot really explain how they work because they are very synonymous to Germany. So you pay TV tax, because it's actually it's actually TV and radio tax, because I don't know how to say it. And I know that when we moved to Germany, we had to pay this tax every month. I mean, you can pay it monthly, I mean biannually or quarterly. Yeah, those are the three ways you can pay it as far as I know. And just because you own TV, as at that time we didn't even have TV in our house, but we had to pay because we have internet. So that's why I said maybe it's media, or I don't know how to explain it, but this is a tax that you have to pay in Germany, and it completely makes no sense too. Number 4 thing I would like to say is education, actually university education. So university education here is for intellectuals, in quote. Like, not everybody is built to go to the university. It's funny, right? In Nigeria, if you can pay the money, if you pass the exam, you can go to university. But going to the university here in Germany is determined right from when you are in primary school. It's outrageous. So a lot of children do not get sidelined, you know, so to say. Like, they don't get an opportunity to go to the university because somehow they don't meet up certain, you know, expectations while they're in primary school, because you have to pass a certain level, and you have to pass maths, German, I think, and English. Those are the 3 requirements basically to go into school. And you know, some children are just slow. Maybe children with learning disabilities are sidelined, and all of that is totally what's the word? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but I understand. Germany education is tuition free, and it's a way for the government to make sure that they're not spending money for children who at the end of the day, in between their studies, will say, I cannot continue, or for whatever reason, you know. So I understand that on one end, but on the other end, I use myself as an example. Like, when I was growing up in primary school, I was not your first, second, or third student. I think between 1 to 10, I'll fall within that. I was just an above average student, and there was never competition for me. I was just in school and learning and having fun and passing. I never failed, you know, but I was not 1, 2, or 3. You guys get my point, right? In primary school, secondary school, all through also, it was just there. But when I got to the university, like, it's this awareness of, or I think maybe it was a point where I had discovered myself and I had taken charge of my life. And I told myself that I want to do this, and I needed to do this right. I needed to do this well. So from the first day I stepped to the university, I told myself that we're going to come out well. And yes, we did come out well. Like, I graduated without any carryovers in the university. I say that in a humble way. I never had to resit any exam whatsoever. So I'm just trying to say that this system doesn't make sense to me, because if you sideline a child from primary school, then they don't get a chance to go to university. Maybe that is their destiny, who knows. Even though the system makes provision for you, even if you are sidelined, so to say, you can still, you know, meet up certain requirements and still make it to university. But I feel like a child will be demotivated when they lose that first chance, and when the system says you are not good enough. So there's a way that makes a child feel, and that thing I do not like. So the 5th thing that I find quite not so good in Germany is the fact that Germans are quite rigid. Nobody should come for me, please. This is my opinion and I stand by it. Germans are pretty rigid. They stay by their plans, and there's no place for spontaneity with Germans, really. Like, if you have friends that are Germans, you cannot just wake up on a Saturday and say, hey, can we go shopping? Okay, no. Or can we go to the market? Or can we go with the kids to the park to play, or something like that? Because they always stick to their plans. Like, you always get this response of, okay, we already have plans. Or even if they want to ask you, they're always asking, do you have plans already? Because that is typical German. That is typisch German, like they say. So this is what you would get. Like, something came to mind. I know of a family, the man is German, but the wife is American, and they have lived in the US for a long time, and they just moved back. Our kids were in the same class, and then we got close, you know. And from time to time, every time they just always remind us that don't forget that we're very spontaneous too, because they feel like Africans can just wake up and whip something up, or just wake up and come up with their ideas and want to do something interesting, and they wanted to also be a part of it. So they say we're spontaneous like that as well. So because they know that Germans are not, you don't wake up and just say, you know, yeah. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, I feel like this video will not be complete without me saying this. And my last video, I told you guys I was going to include this, was what happened with my son at the store just a few days ago. So that will be customer service. So before I made this video, I did a bit of research online, and I saw that a lot of Germans complain about customer service. And I have to be frank at this point, I have never really had any negative experience. I mean, when it had with regards to customer service. But guys, this last time, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the coronavirus. I just want to excuse the lady, you know, that it's because of the coronavirus, but it was totally crass. You know, we got into the store because David got a voucher during his birthday for a bookstore, so we wanted to redeem it by buying a book for him. And once we got in, you know how it is with children, I wanted him to make the choice by himself, because I saw a couple of books I thought he would like, but he didn't want to pick those books. And I'm like, okay, let's go around and check. So in the store, there were like two shopkeepers, an elderly lady and a much younger one who was all smiles. She all smiles. You could tell from her eyes anyway, because she had a face mask. Remember, we can't go into stores without a face mask. And we were just checking, and then she offered, she was like, darf ich Ihnen helfen? Can I help you guys in any way? And I was like, oh no, he's looking for something. And we kept on going. I decided to buy a book from a popular series for young kids. This book called Greg's Tagebuch. So that book is basically the diary of a wimpy kid in English. I know a lot of English speaking parents can relate to that book. So David wanted one of these books, and it's in German. So he walked up to the lady and asked her, and then she told him like, oh, come along with me, I'm going to show you where we have the stock of, you know, that series. And we went there, and the first two she brought up, he already read them. The third one she brought out, he was like, okay, that works. And then already the older lady was already calling this woman to like come back to the counter. Like, we were the only ones there as at that time. And when I came in, she was attending to a German lady. You know, the older lady was attending to her. Like, she was with her at the shelf trying to pick up a couple of books, and she picked it for her until she paid and she left. So I didn't quite get it, you know, because she had mask on it, and I cannot really say that I heard exactly what she said, but you know, from her gestures and all, I could tell that she was calling her, beckoning on her to come back. Like, it was enough for something like, this isn't part of your contract or so. I don't get it. Like, it was a bit strange for me, because even the younger shopkeeper was a bit thrown aback. She didn't know how to dismiss us, and she was also trying to be respectful. I don't know, it was just a funny scenario, and I just tried to overlook it, but it's just stuck. I left the shop thinking and wondering, like, I don't get it. Like, we're here to buy a book. What's the essence of this young woman standing by the cashier, where the cashier and you know, not coming to attend to us? Like, isn't it part of it? Like, this reminds me, really, I've had an experience, because there was a time I needed to book an appointment with a consultant. You know, I was ill at the time, and I needed to book an appointment. And when I called this practice, the receptionist told me that they were booked and I could call some other place. So she wanted to give me the number, and then she started giving me the number, and I didn't quite get some information well. She told me how to go about it. So I didn't get the information well. She was trying to give me an internet address, and then I asked again if she could buchstabieren bitte, like if you could spell it out so I'm sure of what alphabet you are talking about. You get? That's a normal, typical thing to do around here. And I was shocked. The woman said, please, I am working and this isn't part of my contract. That's what she said. She said, this is in part, I wasn't paid to do this. So I was like, thank you and goodbye. So I guess customer service in Germany sucks, and yes, I confirmed it. So I don't know, like, customer is king any other place in the world, and Germans need to know. Germans need to know that. Somebody tell them. So that brings me to the end of this video. I wanted to keep this short and straight to the point. So thank you for staying through this video. Like I always say, if you like this video or if you have conflicting opinions about this video, don't forget to leave me a comment at the comment section, and I'll be right there to answer you. So thank you for keeping it 100 for me. Thank you for all of my supporters. I thank you for all of the support I've received from you guys to this point. I am very, very grateful, and let's do this. Let's keep doing this until we grow this brand. Thank you, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Don't forget, it works if you work it. Bye.